Welcome to episode 28 of the Delta Panther Pod. I'm Mark Cantor, and Delta Panthers girls basketball was front and center this week as they competed at the 4A state tournament at Denver Coliseum. The girls had to wait until Wednesday night to compete, but when the time came, they were ready. Here's what Coach Kyle Crowder had to say before the game against Colorado Academy.
Kyle, I thought the game against Skyview was a perfect game for us for our regional championship. It was physical. They were competitive throughout. And then, when Breezy picked up her fourth foul early in the second half, it forced other people to step up, like J.C. Christie, Ava Martinez, Paige, and I thought Taylor Summers did a great job of taking over in that second half.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of the thing that we've had this year is we get a lot of contributions from a lot of kids, but in those tough moments, I thought Taylor was really big. I mean, she finished the game with 24 points and 17 rebounds. I mean, that's a stat line that a lot of teams can't put up when you're playing a bad team. So to play a good team like that, I mean, I thought that, Breezy handled it like a champ. She came back in. She took that charge. I mean, just a real big play for us momentum-wise, but then also having the ability to, be smart and make sure that you get that foul on them and don't get yourself out of the game.
Our opponents tonight, a little bit of a surprise. Obviously, Colorado Academy is kind of a Cinderella with a couple of upsets in regionals, but what do we know about them? What have you seen from them? I know you had an opportunity to maybe look at them on tape.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're a good shooting team. They like to run a little bit. They like to press. And they've got a big girl that come back that didn't play the whole year. She played this last weekend. So, I mean, there's a couple of factors that make them a little bit different than what we saw early in the season. But they're a team that I think that if you leave them alone and you don't guard them hard, I think they have ability to put up some points pretty quickly. And so we're going to guard them hard, and we're going to try to, not let their press get any easy ones. And we're probably going to turn it over a few times, and we're going to give up some threes. But we've done that in the past, we find a way to get through those games. So we're really just going to try to attack the zone. We're going to try to push tempo, this big floor. It makes it a little hard to press you when you're on a big floor like this. So we're going to try to get the ball up and down and see what we can do, see if we can get up to the rim and create some, transition buckets, which, I mean, kind of gets us going. We play a little bit better, more intensity on defense when we're scoring points. So, we're going to try to make it a fast-paced game, and I don't think that they really have been guarded as well as we can guard. So we'll see how that goes.
Earlier in the season, the girls had a tendency to have a poor shooting percentage, especially early in games. What are they looking to do to try to avoid that here today?
It's always about shot selection, cutting down turnovers, and we've been really diligent about approaching the game and saying, let's not take the marginal one, let's take the really good one, because we can be as patient as we need to be, and we're not a patient team, so we're kind of working on that right now. But, when we get the right kids in the right position, we definitely want them taking that shot, whether, we're up or down or whatever the situation is. So I'm confident that they're going to go out there and they're going to play smart, they're going to play hard, and they're going to do the little things, and I think that should take care of it.
So I think we've been to the Elite Eight now 5 of the last 6 years and haven't been able to get beyond that. What does this game mean to you as a coach and the opportunity to win this game?
You're just happy to have the opportunity. I feel like these kids earned the right to play a home game at the regional, and I thought that was well-deserved. But, our seniors, they have a little different mindset than we've had in the past, and I mean, I think that they understand that if we want to do it, we can't wait for somebody else to do it for us. And I think that's been a little bit of what we've had in the past few years. So I think these girls are going to go out there and they're going to attack it with their ability and play the game the right way, and I think we're going to have a chance.
Kyle, I've been looking forward to this trip, this game, since you guys cut the nets down last week. I feel like everything's kind of lining up for us to get over that hump and get to the Final Four. So I would really like to broadcast from the Coliseum on Friday. So let's go and let's get after it.
That sounds like a great plan. Thanks.
Delta had a slow start, due in part to having to deal with the Mustang 6'2" post player, but once the girls adjusted how they played her, they were able to go to work. Delta collected the 37-24 victory to advance to the Final Four. Taylor Summers led the way, as she has all season, with a double-double, 21 points, 12 boards, while Breezy Huff factored in with 10 points and 7 boards. The girls got back at it on Friday, facing the 2 seeds, Timnath, with a trip to their first state final on the line. Kyle definitely had the girls' eyes on the prize for this one.
Kyle, the girls took a little bit to settle in against Colorado Academy, which is kind of understandable given their large post presence that they had. But once we figured out how to adapt to handling her, everything seemed to kind of click and fall into place.
Yeah, it's kind of a big stage, and it's kind of wide-eyed for a lot of kids. So, I hope today that we're going to walk in there and we're going to be a little more settled from the beginning. I mean, once we start playing our game, we know that we have the ability to do whatever we need to do. So we just got to start quick. We got to make sure that we're locking down on defense early. And in that game the other day, I mean, we didn't play great offensively, but defense, I mean, it was fine. We weren't giving up points. We weren't giving up easy buckets. So if we can do that same thing today, I mean, and then hopefully be a little more settled on offense, I think it'll be good.
And limit the turnovers, obviously. I think we probably had a few more turnovers than you would have liked against Colorado Academy. Going into today, you had a chance, I think, to look at Timnath the other day. You got here early to check out their game. What did you see from scouting them?
They're a big athletic team. They shoot the three well. They hustle. We just got to survive kind of their first push. They seem like they come out really hard and fast. So if we can kind of survive through that, and, we just got to, I mean, we can match their scoring, and I know that our defense is probably a little better than some of the stuff that they've seen throughout the year. So, I mean, we just got to go out there and we just got to match their intensity, make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do on our end, executing, getting good looks, and then try to shoot a high percentage. I think we'll be in a good chance.
We've had road trips before. Obviously, Alamosa Centauri was a longer road trip, but this one seems to be a little more extended. With us being here a little longer, how does that affect the girls? What kind of toll does that take on them having a little longer trip this time around?
Honestly, I don't think it's a factor at all. I mean, we did 3 nights at peak to peak, and I mean, we played as well as you could have expected to play that early in the season. So, I mean, we're doing a lot of things together. Kids got quite a few things to do during the day, so it's not like we're just sitting around twiddling our thumbs. I mean, we got stuff going. So I think their minds are right, and I think we're going to be ready.
That kind of led to my next question. The headspace these girls are in right now, they're locked and loaded, ready to go, it sounds like.
Absolutely. They understand the magnitude that we achieved something big on Wednesday, but, we have the ability to do even more. So I think we're going to be ready, and I think it's going to be a fun night.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure about you, but I'm not quite ready to go home yet. So I look forward to the game today and hope we're here again tomorrow. Good luck.
Yep. Thank you, Mark.
Delta was seemingly at a disadvantage when Taylor Summers got into foul trouble early, but Breezy Huff said, "Here, hold my soda," and scored a career-high 27 points while grabbing 9 boards. Summers still had 15 points, scoring most of those in the second half with 6 boards. Ava Martinez scored 5 with 6 boards, and Maya Abeda scored 5, with the first 3 being the bucket that started the run that led to a 10-point victory, 56-46. Delta made history with the win, advancing to the program's first-ever state final. Could they make even more history and win their first state title yesterday? Well, number 1 seed University stood in their way. Here's Kyle.
Kyle, before we talk about today's big game, I want to go back to yesterday's matchup against Timnath and just how out of her freaking mind Breezy was during that game.
Everybody got to see what Breezy has been all about. We are fortunate because we see that in practice. We know the capabilities she has, and she's just the perfect example of when talent meets hard work. I mean, that's the product right there. So, I mean, I'm happy that she was able to display that because we have seen that. Like we know how good she is, and I think sometimes people don't get to realize how talented some of these kids are because when they're out there, they share so well and they play together as a team that they don't really highlight, those individual performances that they could potentially have that she was able to show yesterday.
And we had both talked about other girls stepping up outside of Breezy and Taylor, and I thought that happened yesterday, especially in the second half. Maya's big three-pointer to kind of propel us to that run that got us the victory.
Absolutely. That was a huge 3. Ava had a couple of really key rebounds for buckets, but we shot 89% on free throws. Like that's a pretty astronomical number for a team that, I mean, isn't really known for being a great three-point shooting, free throw shooting team, to go out there and have that performance. But we had a lot of other things, I mean, Paige didn't score much, but she played her guts out and, she causes so many situations on defense and, Janelle Christie came in and gave us some good minutes, had 5 or 6 rebounds. So, I mean, it is what it is, and everybody's contributing. It's not always the person who's getting all the accolades, the standout performance. It's all those other supplemental things. And we've talked about that, saying, we know what our best girls are going to be. It's how are the other girls going to be around them that are really going to dictate whether we're able to win a big game like that or not.
And we'll have to see more of that again today against University. Obviously, they're undefeated. They're kind of the monster lurking in the dark. But you and I have talked, and you seem to have a strategy you think you can use to beat them.
Yeah, part of it just comes down to, which team wants it more at this point, and I feel like that our kids want this as much as any team that's out here. And we just got to go out there and we got to be consistent. We can't have silly turnovers. We can't let, 50-50 balls bounce away from us. We've got to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to be on the top end of those situations. And if we go out there and shoot the ball like we did yesterday, I think we're going to be in a great situation. And if we can go out there and play great defense, I think it's going to, force them to take some marginal shots, which opens up opportunities for us. So if we can just continue to be ourselves, we don't have to be anything other than what we've been the last 2 nights. And we go out there and do our job and play as hard as we can, do some of the little things. I think we have a shot.
Something that always amazes me, and it really doesn't amaze me because I know how much support you get from the community and the parents and everybody else that's bought in, but we always travel very well. We're very well represented here. It's a long ways from Delta to Denver, and a lot of people have made the trip to support these girls and you and the team and the school. And how does that factor into all this? How does that outpouring of support affect you guys?
Sometimes those are the little things that the kids are going to remember most. The community aspect of what we're doing as a program. It's fun to see the parents and the siblings and the relatives and the families all together making posters and doing the things last night at the hotel. But then, just listening to the kids talking to their friends and their family and people that are coming from other places. Lots of support from people we know that are just, maybe not Delta people, but they're coming here to support the Panthers because they know somebody. So it's pretty special, and when the kids think back about some of the best parts of this, it's, running through the elementaries and shaking hands, and it's, getting to celebrate and sing that school song with, the people that are there. So, sometimes that's as big of a memory as it is when you're actually on the floor because they're not going to remember a lot of what happens anyways. So, it's pretty important for us to have those people here for us.
Finally, you've been coaching for 24 years. This is the first time that you've coached in a championship game like this. What does this game mean to you?
This is huge. This is just the culmination of a lot of hard work by a lot of people. We had, the girls that I first started with, they battled their guts out just to get to the final 8, and we went from being a team that was not a league contender to being the team that everybody is number 1 on their list every year. So it's pretty special, to just see that this program has not only taken it to that next level, but now we're at the top level. And, walking into a game like this, knowing that we have a great chance to potentially win a title, it's hard to put in words the things that, I'm thankful for, all the kids that have put in the work and the sweat and the time and all the things over the last 10 years here. And I hope that they're all having a little special moment thinking about how they got to be part of the pioneering groups of this program.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm happy to be part of this moment, most definitely. And I look forward to the end of the game when we're raising that trophy. So good luck to you, Kyle.
It's going to be a fun night.
The girls absolutely played their hearts out and had a 3-point halftime lead. At the start of the fourth, University had taken a 1-point advantage, but our girls still had a little left in the tank. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, and University pulled away in the end for the 42-35 victory, ending what has proved to be an amazing season for these girls. Good luck to seniors Breezy Huff, Taylor Summers, Maya Abeda, and Paige Kmeyer in the next chapter of their life. If that wasn't enough excitement, Delta Panthers baseball had their season opener this weekend. Here's head coach Steve Ryer to tell us what to expect this season.
Steve, let's go back to the end of last season. You guys lost to TCA in the regional championship by just the 1 run, and Not exactly how you wanted your season to end.
Yeah, that was a tough one to swallow. That one hurt all summer. And but the good thing about it is I think it's kind of left a bad taste in these guys' mouths. And so they're excited to get going. They're eager. They're eager for the season to start. They've been working hard. So, as bad as it ended, we can use that to our advantage, and hopefully we will.
Talk a little bit about the summer program. What you see from the kids there and some of the kids that are coming up? Are there any of them that you think you're going to see on the varsity level?
Yeah, I thought our summer program was solid this last year. I think we ended up playing total 26 games in the program. For the month of June, that's a lot of games. And, we saw some good things. I think we're going to see some of these juniors like Deacon Sheen and Jet Ryan. I think you're going to see them, rise up and do some good things. And, Davian Lopez had a good summer. Joey Snicky had a good summer. So, some of these guys that have been JV guys the last couple of years that, they got a lot of at-bats last year on JV. So, that's going to help us at the varsity level this year because, if your program's in good shape, a lot of your juniors and sophomores are getting reps at the JV level. And the last couple of years, that's been that way for us.
Talk a little bit about what we'll see on the mound this year. I know we've got 3 starters coming back, Ty Reed, Landon Kennel, and Rip Lockhart. And we also saw a little bit of Davian Lopez on the mound last year. Obviously, we'll probably see him as well this year.
Yeah, all 4 of those guys are going to get a lot of innings. And, they've all looked real good this, early spring. Scrimmages and so forth, they've thrown well. We're going to see a lot of Joe Black. Some of these guys that, again, through a few innings last year on the JV level, we're going to be using those guys this year. And especially these early tournaments and stuff where we're playing a bunch of games in just a couple of days. It's going to be next guy up mentality and try to keep guys from, extending their pitch counts too far and still have a chance for success. So, we've got a good staff this year. I'm excited about our pitching staff.
Now on the other side of the ball, at the plate, obviously the same kids we talked about returning on the mound, they're going to return at the plate too. People like Ty Reed and Rip Lockhart, who had really good years, and I hear Landon Kennels put on about 20 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, all those guys. It's going to be exciting to watch. And the other thing is we're fast. We're going to have a very fast team, and that makes it exciting. That's as a coach, that's a lot of fun figuring out ways to utilize that speed. But power-wise, I think we're going to be, if not equally as powerful as we were last year, I think our power numbers will be even more so this year because Landon Kennel's gotten very strong. He scrimmage last week up at Central. He hit Central High School in my 31 years of coaching. That's the first time I've ever seen anybody hit one out to that side of the park at Central. And, I'm guessing it was, every bit of 415. I mean, he absolutely crushed it. And, he's fun to watch. He kind of puts on a show at batting practice. So, Ty Reed, it's exciting to have him back. And hopefully, he can stay healthy. That's, this is the first year that we've been excited going in, and then he had a little setback, but he's back healthy, and Davian Lopez is swinging it well, Rip's swinging it well, and it's good to get these basketball kids back. I was hoping they would get further, but it's always good to get them back as well. So yeah, we'll have a potent offense, I think.
Let's talk a little bit about the league now. This cycle, the 3A Western Slope League, we're still in that league. It's just not as big this year, with some of those teams dropping out. And the league schedule is all double headers. Talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, we're kind of back to, 4 years ago. Same type of deal with the league back then, where we played played everybody twice, and I like that. When you get too many teams, you can only play them once, or all of your games are, league games, and that doesn't bode very well for the RPI at times. So, I'm excited to get back to playing everybody twice. I was talking to my wife the other day, and I made the comment, I honestly can't see this year's league champion going through undefeated in the league, because there's a lot of good teams in our league this year, and everybody has that one dude, and you catch him at the right time, and he's going to be tough to beat. And I look at Coleridge is going to be a very good team. Basalt's going to be a good team. Roaring Fork's going to be a good team. Tom Percival always does a good job at Gunnison. They'll have a good squad. Aspen always has good athletes. Moffat County's has a new coach, and I don't know a lot about them, but they're competitive, and that's what makes this league fun. I think since I've been back 10 years now, I think this is probably the strongest our league has ever been, and that makes it a lot of fun, and it also it helps the Western Slope.
Absolutely. It's nice when we can get several teams out of the league into the state tournament, and it always it makes for a fun season when you can be competitive within your league as well as having those teams advance. So let's talk a little bit real quick about the non-league schedule. You've got a couple games hopefully this week at Res Christian in Manitou Springs. You'll play both of those at Manitou. Obviously the Luke tournament, and then the local favorites, Palisade, Montrose, and Rifle. Talk about how you put together the non-league schedule, especially these two games hopefully coming up this week with an eye toward RPI.
Yeah, I mean, that's what drives everything now. And, we know if we want to get to where we want to be, we have to not just compete, but we have to beat some of those teams. And if I had to sum up our schedule in one word, it would be brutal, because it is. I mean, Res Christian is the Final Four team last year. In the Luco tournament, we've got University, who's they were runner-up in 3A. Falcon was 4A, Final Four. And then that next week, we've got Palisade. They were 4A Final Four. Montrose, they're going to be a solid squad this year. And then we go to the Greeley tournament. We start out with peak to peak there, which means we're on Eaton side of the bracket. So, yeah, we've got a very, very difficult schedule. But, in terms of this squad, I can't, this squad will fare well. I have a feeling they just have a little bit of a, sense of a attitude about them this year that, we got cheated last year, and then we didn't, nobody cheated us. We cheated ourselves, and we know that. And, we know we've got to get back to the caliber of ball that, comes with beating those teams. So I'm excited for it. It'll be a challenge, but we're up for it.
I think we've got a good core this year. I'm looking forward to it, as well as the peripheral players as well playing their roles. And like I said, looking forward to it.
Absolutely, Mark. It's going to be a blast.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
The Panthers opened the season strong with an 18-2 victory at Manitou Springs yesterday. Senior ace Ty Reed picked up the victory in that one. The boys didn't have long to celebrate, though, as they took on Resurrection Christian yesterday as well. They had a slow start, but exploded in the fourth for 5 runs to take a 5-3 lead. Delta scored 2 more in the fifth and held off Res for the 7-6 victory and a 2-0 start to the season. The boys play host next weekend of the Luke Oldgebruns Memorial Tournament, where they will play University and Falcon on Friday, ending the tournament on Saturday against Bayfield. Delta Panthers Broadcast Network's coverage of Delta Panthers baseball will begin at Palisade on Tuesday, March 25th. Delta Panthers cheerleading is having a productive first season. Here are some members of their varsity squad.
I'm here with members of the varsity cheerleading squad: Caitlin Waitman, Perla Valdez, Juliet Schnoes, Liliani Rodriguez, Braille Davis, and Avery Barker. Thanks for talking to me today. Let's just start out. It's the first year for this program. Tell me a little bit about how it got started and how you got into cheerleading. We'll start with you, Avery.
So the program kind of got started. We had a middle school cheer team, and I feel like a lot of the girls felt like cheer should continue, and so it kind of influenced like a lot of other things in the school. And so coming up from middle school to high school, I feel like when Miss Johnson moved into a principal, she saw that coming from the middle school and thought it'd be a good idea.
Okay, Braille, how long have you been cheering, or is this your first year?
I've been cheering since I was in 3rd grade.
Very good, very good. How about you, Liliani?
Oh, this is my first year cheering.
Okay, how do you like it?
So far, I really like it.
Good, good. Perla, how long have you been cheering?
Like Avery said, in middle school, that's when I started.
Okay, very good. So, Caitlin, what is your favorite part about cheering?
Probably the family that we've created, the good and honest community together that we've created, and physically probably stunting because we just come up with crazy ideas and make them come true.
Juliet, tell me about those crazy ideas. What are some of the crazy things you girls have done?
Some of the crazy things we've done, we did a one-man one. We weren't ready, and I ended up falling. But a lot of the stuff that we do, it's really fun. It takes some work to get it down, and a lot of, sweat and tears sometimes. We put a lot of work into it to make it, performance ready, and I love it.
Caitlin, talk a little bit about the family atmosphere, the sisterhood that you all have, and the trust that you guys have with each other.
I think coming into cheerleading, it was some people's very first year, but some people have been in cheer, and so it was kind of like the first people, the people who this is their first year, they looked up to the people who have done it before, and then it just kind of created big sister, little sister kind of community, and we all got to really know each other personally and team-wise, and so just some girls really look up to others, and some are those strong figures that are able to be looked up to, and so that creates a really good family community.
Perla, talk about the trust aspect a little bit, and you girls are throwing each other up in the air, and you've got to have a solid base and trust the people below you. Talk a little bit about that and the trust you have for the girls.
I can speak on a lot of flyers really build a bond with their stunt group. I'm a base, and I can tell when our flyers are scared or not, and it really depends on if they trust you. And you build that trust over time just because you're basically putting them in the air and they're trusting you to catch them. So I think it's a really big part on the sisterhood because we're all trying to trust each other and create a bond.
Eliana, you said this is your first year cheering.
Yeah.
How far have you come from the beginning to now? Because you guys have been doing this all year long.
I feel like I've come from a very far point because at the beginning I was really scared to be thrown up in the air, but now I come to practice every day wanting to be thrown up in the air.
That's good. Yeah, I would be scared to be thrown in the air as well. Braille, tell me about where you see this program going. Obviously, this is your first year, and you've cheered at football games and the basketball games. Will you be entering any sort of cheer competitions? I know CHSAA does cheer competition every year. Is that something you guys will be entering?
Yes, we're planning on wanting to do a whole bunch of competitions coming in the next season, and we're just wanting to do it's kind of an all-around thing, so we'll probably be having competitions in the fall and in the spring. Very
good. Avery, we'll end up with you. Talk a little bit about where you see this program going and the future of this program. Rael just mentioned, the competitions and stuff, but talk about where you see it going beyond this year and even beyond your senior year.
All right, so a lot of girls coming up from the middle school are already having experience. I feel like it's going to bring this program together. It being the first year and us already getting so far makes it a good thing. I feel like Coach has talked about going to Florida and getting qualified into colleges, and I feel like after my senior year, I feel like a lot more girls are going to be confident and get quote unquote brought into colleges for this sport because it is a hard sport, and it is it shows a lot of personality and strength and trust, and I feel like when colleges see that, they will want you out of everybody, and I feel like that's a building part of this sport, and coming into it is just gonna blow it away.
Just like any other sport, there's team building, there's confidence, there's all sorts of aspects of it that it has, just like any other sport would. So thank you, ladies. Appreciate you talking with me today, and good luck in the future.
Thank you.
This week's Student Spotlight is on J.C. Christie. JC has sung the national anthem at all of the home basketball games this season. And believe it or not, we didn't actually talk about that. Listen to what we did talk about, though.
I'm here with JC Christie, and JC, as is the case with most of the students I interview, you are a busy individual. You're a 3-sport athlete. I believe you're involved in FA as well. Are there any other school activities you're involved in?
I'm in Interact Club and NHS as well.
Very good, very good. And how do you balance everything? You've got a pretty full schedule.
I don't know. I kind of just look at my week and kind of figure out what all I have going on that week, and then sometimes, a wrench gets thrown in my plans and I have to rearrange, but I kind of just go on a weekly basis or else I can't keep it all straight, so.
And you just kind of wing it if you got to, right?
That's exactly it. I wing it a lot of the time.
You also have to put in some schoolwork, some time to do schoolwork. What are some of your favorite classes and who have been some of your favorite teachers?
I think my favorite class right now is probably, I would say ag, because I live on a farm and it means a lot to me, I guess. And then some of my favorite teachers have probably been Miss B, the old ag teacher, and then I really like Miss Ranum a lot, and Miss Cronenberg are probably some of my favorite teachers. So.
Tell me a little bit about living on a farm and some of the chores you have to do, because I know there are chores that have to be done in addition to everything else that you're busy doing.
It's kind of like everything. I mean, it kind of depends on the day, but we have lambs, and so we're busy lambing right now. So we have to clean the pens a lot and go out and check sheep at the middle of the night. And so feeding them and cleaning their water troughs is some of it. I help my dad a lot with, in the summertime, shoveling rows and stuff like that. And I help him move tractors all the time. I help him irrigate a lot as well. It kind of just depends on the day. Like most days in the summertime, I don't get home until 10:30 at night because we're just busy doing whatever. And every day is kind of different, which I think is part of the reason why I love farming so much, is because every day there's something new that you have to do. And so it makes it more enjoyable to not do the same thing every day. So,
in order to be successful on a farm, you have to have a really good work ethic, and that's something I'm told that you definitely have. Tell me a little bit about your work ethic and who has kind of pushed you to have that work ethic.
I would definitely say my dad has pushed me to have a work ethic, because I feel like for him, not to approve of me, but to be proud, I feel like I definitely want to impress him by my work ethic, and that it also impresses other people. And so when I go to get a job one day, or with my schoolwork or any of my extracurricular activities, if I work hard at it, people recognize that, and I feel like you sometimes stand out more for just working hard and putting in the hours and trying to be better at something than not at all and being good at it, because hard work beats talent when talent fails. So, but my dad, I definitely learned hard work from. Every day he's out there working hard and everything, and I love to try to keep up with him and push myself to work as hard as he does, and I try to outwork the boys that work for him, because I feel like that also just is a competition and makes me work harder. So,
you pretty competitive person?
Oh, very, very, very.
You talk about your dad being one of your role models. Who are some of your other ones?
Definitely my mom. She is probably the kindest person I know, and whenever someone needs something, she's willing to drop anything and everything to go and help them and be there for them. And whenever I have a bad day, if I need a hug or anything, she's always there. She isn't afraid to tell me if I'm doing something wrong and help me become a better version of myself, which I think is something very valuable in a person. And she's just a kind-hearted person. So I definitely want to be like my mom when I grow up, because she's just such an amazing person. So that's definitely one of my biggest role models.
So you're a junior.
Yes.
And what does the future look like for you? I know you still have one more year of school, and you're probably going to continue to participate in the extracurriculars that you're participating in. But what do things look like for the future for you?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm not the biggest fan of school, so I'm looking at a technical college for just straight ag, because I want to do something ag orientated with my life, whether it be with the farming side of it, because I really like the all the plant-based stuff, but I also like my 4-H lambs and stuff like that. So definitely something ag-based. I'm just not sure what exact area I want to go into yet. So.
Well, you still got some time to make that decision. So, enjoy the rest of your junior year. Enjoy your senior year. You're competing in a state basketball game today, so enjoy that and just kind of live in the moment.
I will. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
No announcements this week, but as always, for more updates and information, you can always refer to the Delta High Panthers Facebook page. That covers it for this episode of the Delta Panthers Pod. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you want to get in touch with me to suggest how I can expand my coverage of the Delta Panthers, feel free to contact me via email at dpbroadcast@yahoo.com. The Delta Panthers Pod drops Sunday afternoons throughout the school year and is sponsored by Jerry Ryer State Farm, Delta Ace Hardware, Delta Building Center, Delta Cabinet Company, Delta County School District, Hellman Motor Company, Quickie Tire Service, Mimi's Sweet Treats, 9 Stories Real Estate Films and Photography, The Sunflower Room, Taco Time, and Yost Family Dentistry. I'll talk to you all next week.